Before you lies a picture of the Starship Enterprise from Star Trek, the original series that aired in the 60s. This is the 11-foot shooting model that you have seen in pretty much every episode of the original series, although if you have watched the remastered version, it was replaced with a CGI recreation. But if you've seen the unremastered stuff, this was the ship that was in the vast majority of times that you saw it. But even though this was the main shooting model for the Enterprise, the 11-foot model, this was not the first one. There was a 3-foot model built of the Enterprise that was used to film the original pilot, The Cage, and was used for some other stuff. And we've got a story here from TrekMovie.com that says Rod Roddenberry in talks to recover what may be the lost original model from Star Trek. One of the longest-running Star Trek mysteries may be on the verge of being solved. In 1977, the first shooting model of the USS Enterprise from the original series went missing, and for the last 46 years, no one has known where it is or whether it had been destroyed. But just a couple of weeks ago, it appeared to resurface in an eBay listing, which was soon suspended after fans started buzzing about the potential historical importance of this model. Trek Movie can confirm that Rod Roddenberry, son of Star Trek creator Gene Roddenberry and the president of Roddenberry Enterprises, is actively trying to authenticate and acquire the model that sat on his father's desk at Paramount for years. Roddenberry says, along with much of the Star Trek community, I was excited and pleased to learn that the original 3-foot filming model of the Starship Enterprise appears to have been discovered after being missing for decades, pending full authentication. I can confirm that I am now through an intermediary in contact with the individual who possesses the model. The model in question is a 3-foot, actually 33 inches, pre-production model of the USS Enterprise built mostly out of wood by Richard C. Datton in 1964. Working from drawings by Matt Jeffries, he constructed and painted the model as a subcontractor of the Howard Anderson Company, which was hired to do the special effects for Star Trek's first pilot. The model was used in behind-the-scenes photographs with Gene Roddenberry and series lead Jeffrey Hunter, and because it was available for shooting long before the more detailed illuminated 11-foot model was ready, it was used as a shooting model for most of the ship exterior shots in The Cage and for the famous flyby shots in the show's opening credit sequence. So the 11-foot model, which is on display at the Smithsonian, like we just saw here, was used in The Cage for the show opening zoom into the bridge and for most exterior shots in the second pilot and beyond, but the 33-inch model was revised to match the series version in April of 1966 and appears in a number of Star Trek episodes, most notably as a miniaturized Enterprise in the episode Requiem for Methuselah. Right here. So it's that guy. When the series finished filming, the smaller 33-inch model was given to Gene Roddenberry as a gift from the studio, and it appears in photographs sitting on Roddenberry's desk and was taken by Roddenberry to Star Trek conventions and exhibited alongside other screen-used props. Is there a photo? Yeah, like right here. That's him with it on his desk. Roddenberry loaned the model out to an effects house during the making of Star Trek The Motion Picture, and after that it went missing. Roddenberry wrote letters to Paramount Pictures executive Jeffrey Katzenberg asking for his help in retrieving the model, but it's to no avail. So the 1979, he's asking, hey, yo, what happens to it? So for like almost 50 years, nobody knew what happened to it. But then we had this eBay listing. Rare custom Star Trek USS Enterprise spaceship by Richard Datton. Well, it was listed for $1,000. Now, this listing has since been taken down because he's in contact with Gene Roddenberry's son. But the model appeared to reemerge on Halloween in an eBay listing. The starting bid request was $1,000. Star Trek collectors and fans started buzzing about the item online, identifying it as possibly Roddenberry's long-lost original shooting model, although clearly underpriced for such a historic item. Yeah, if he knew that this was it, he wouldn't have listed it for $1,000. Just last month, the original 2-foot model of the Star Trek Galileo shuttle from the Greg Jean collection sold for $225,000. An original X-Wing model from Star Wars sold for $3 million. So it's no surprise that just 12 hours after that initial eBay listing went live, it was ended by the seller without a sale. This seller is going to make so much money just selling it back to Rod Roddenberry. Many fans continue to pore over the photos from the eBay listing to attempt to verify the authenticity of the model. Rumors circulated that Enterprise expert Gary Kerr had authenticated the model and that he had purchased the model himself in a storage unit purchased at auction from the estate of filmmaker Burton Holmes, who died in '58. And we have two updates. Gary Kerr, in a statement to Trek Movie, shot down these rumors. The truth is more mundane. Shortly after the news of the model's reappearance broke, people started asking my opinion of it. After looking at the 16 photos posted online, I said that the model looked like the real thing, but that's a far cry from authenticating it, which would entail a full forensic examination of the model. Since then, I've made comparisons between high-res, fairly obscure photos of the model in the 1960s and the eBay photos. Tiny details in the model match perfectly, and in my opinion, the eBay model is the real McCoy. I re-emphasize that this is simply my informed opinion. And update 2, in a comment on this article, Noel Datton McDonald, the daughter of Richard C. Datton Jr., the builder of the original model, offered her opinion on the model's authenticity. The business card on the bottom of the stand that it was put on for display on Gene's desk is my father's original business card at the time we lived in North Hollywood. My father also wrote about the fact that it was a microphone stand that he used, which is shown in the current photos. Yeah, this is a microphone stand here. She also offered to confer with authenticators, saying, I may even have a piece left over from its construction. So, and yeah, the microphone stand that it's sitting on. Okay. Yeah. And Rod Roddenberry wants to secure the model for history if it's real. Yeah, if authenticated, Roddenberry plans to digitally scan and archive the model for future study as part of the Roddenberry Archive project. He doesn't feel the model should be in a private collection and hopes it will one day be kept in the collection of the Smithsonian's National Air and Space Museum, which currently maintains and houses the 11-foot shooting model of the Enterprise. Yes, this is so historically important because it's literally the first Enterprise ever built. To quote Indiana Jones, it belongs in a museum. And I guess here we have Rod Roddenberry's full statement. Along with much of the Star Trek community, I was excited and pleased to learn that the original 3-foot filming model of the Starship Enterprise appears to have been discovered. Yeah, I'm going to skip through some of this, but yeah, he just recaps a lot of what we've been going over here. And that's Rod Roddenberry, son of Gene Roddenberry. Of note in this statement is that Roddenberry has not yet definitively authenticated the model. It sounds like it's the real thing. Obviously, you do need to go through a final process, but based on what everyone is saying, comparing it to known photographs of it, compared to the base that it's on, sounds like it's the real deal. Beyond the authentication of the model, Star Trek historians will one day want to know how the model went missing, where it's been for the last 46 years, how the current possessor of the model came to have it, why they listed it on eBay, whether or not they knew what it was, why it was removed from eBay, and many more details. Still, this is potentially one of the most exciting finds in the history of the franchise. The 33-inch model is the only thing that appears in the same condition in every episode of the original series through the opening credits flyby sequence. Costumes, actors, sets, and props were changed, but that flyby footage remained the same for all 79 episodes of the series. It was held by Gene Roddenberry, Jeffrey Hunter, William Shatner, and Leonard Nimoy, and it's an amazing artifact whose value, as Rod Roddenberry said, goes far beyond the physical object itself, which means the guy who currently owns it is going to be making bank. It's really exciting to see history, Star Trek history, and mystery seemingly resolved. We've got it back. It has not vanished to the deep reaches of space. It is here. Would it, it almost sounds like you could have like a fun sci-fi story about say Galaxy Quest, where the show Galaxy Quest, which was, it's supposed to be Star Trek basically. Aliens got broadcasts of it and thought it was real and became real big fans of it and came and got all of the actors to reprise their roles from the show. If something like that happened here, if you had aliens who were fans of Star Trek and they came in and they picked up the original model and it went on some space adventures before being brought back to Earth, that would be cute. But anyway, I hope this is the genuine article from what everyone is saying. It sounds like it should be. And if that's the case, they should put it in the Smithsonian right next to the 11-foot model. I've never been to the Smithsonian. I have been to DC, but I would like to make another pilgrimage out there just so that I can see the Enterprise model. And if this is the real thing, it would be nice to see them both. Hey, thanks for watching. I'm trying to get my channel monetized, so your view means a lot. Don't forget to toss me a like, and subscribe, and ring the bell. I stream Mondays and Fridays at 5 p.m. and Sundays at 2 p.m., so catch me live and join in on the convo. You can find all my socials in the description below, and thank you to all my patrons with a very special shout out to my Whale Shark tier patron Ryan D, and my Anemone Friends tier patron Piftle Cakes. Your support means the world. Catch you next time.